Welcome to the new Saturday show on the channel, Bakemonogatari. This should be an interesting one. I already have one Nisio show on the channel right now, Katanagatari, on Wednesday, and now we'll be getting into the Monogatari series, which I know there's a lot of parts. It's a long series, many fans who are very dedicated to it, from what I've heard. Tons of praise over a long time. I'm excited to finally see it for myself. I've also been reading the Katanagatari light novel alongside that show, so it's been interesting getting into Nisio stuff. I know very little. I just heard that there are great inventive visuals. It's very dialogue heavy. I know there's like vampires and supernatural stuff and fan service used in unique ways from just random stuff that I've heard over time. I know people are very picky about the subtitles used in the Monogatari series because of how the dialogue is, and I've had this upload of the show provided to me by one of my patrons, Iwayuru, so thank you very much for that. Hopefully you will be satisfied. Let's just get into it. I've got subtitles and a timer if you want to follow that way, or you can pull the episode up on your own, but we're going to watch it and then discuss it. And yeah, it's weird to finally be getting into the Monogatari series, but I'm going to do it right now. 3, 2, 1, play. So we're in front of a high school. Slow motion. Okay. Alright, immediately interesting. We immediately get panties and then a timer as things go in slow motion. And then we get text on the screen that I could not read other than kiss shot. Well, alright, immediately interesting. I've heard that there are like flashes of text from the light novel on the screen, so we'll see about that. I already love the direction of the show. This is a hell of an opener. When I have no clue what is happening, it's a way to get you into it and make you curious. A lot of interesting visuals, and I really like the art style. It looks really good. People getting their arms ripped off, guys with hearts in their hands. Was that the opening? That's such a bizarre opening. I don't know if that's technically... there was no song, you know? That's not a traditional OP. I don't know if that's going to be at the start of every episode, or if that was just a weird thing for this one. But this looks great. Now we have a girl falling. I have no idea what's happening, but it looks really nice. She's plummeting. He's going to try to catch her. You think it was right to catch her, and you might be wrong. Well, that's good. And there we have the meeting. Okay, here's the OP. Wow. Already, huh? I'm already seeing what it is about Monogatari that attracts people right out the gate. They open with that. Let you know right away the kind of show it will be without actually telling you anything about the show. And now we have a stapler stapling across the world. Huh. So yeah, Bakemonogatari, Bakemono, and Monogatari, Monster Story or Monster Tale. We shall see what happens, but yeah, these episodes are going to be on Saturdays, so subscribe if you want to follow that. You can also check out the Discord and Twitter and such if you want to come talk about this and other stuff. And the Patreon if you want to get these videos a week early and other rewards and help support the channel in doing what I'm trying to do. Those links are in the description below. And we have Attack of the 50-Foot Women. Or whatever is it 500? It's a pretty big difference. Hitagi Crab. I believe that would be the name of the first arc. Part 1, okay. It is Monday here, yes. Okay, we've got seniors focused on studying. So Araragi, the main character. What just happened there? Alright. She's the top class rep. Haunted house sounds fun. Gotta do something different this time. The one that he caught. Is it? Hitagi? You tell me what's weird about it. I don't know enough Japanese to tell you. What? What's up? Does he usually not? This sickly girl, Senjo Gahara. The girl who has no mass. And yet he doesn't seem to really know her. I mean, if she's absent all the time. Despite being sickly, does well. I guess she's new to this school, if she's only been with Senjo Gahara for a month and had to ask him what they did the last 2 years for the cultural festivals. But she knew her in middle school. She was athletic, so this was before getting sick. Wealthy. Might be a vampire, but I don't want to get hung up on things that I've heard are in this show. We'll just see what happens. Or something like that. Some superhuman thing. Really? Like the lead of a pencil just breaks just like that. Alright, I'll have to help Mr. Oshino. Like, they really went all out with the visuals and hello. Hi, sudden turn of events. Uh-huh. She does not want him looking into her at all and is willing to shove a knife into his mouth. No, that's fine, thank you. A stapler. Oh, and there's the stapler from the opening. Oh, God, this is insane. That's what caused her to slip. It was a banana peel. She genuinely slipped on a banana peel. She has literally no weight. How'd you pull that off? Oh, as it happens when you run into crabs. They take your... Is that like a folklore? Is that like some folklore about that? Or is that totally made up for this? I don't think that's a vampire. That's something I've never seen. She does not want people to know about this. I think he can promise that. Go ahead and nod. Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, you just got some answer. Did she just staple him? Yeah, I would love to, thanks. Wow. Ow. Nothing. It was nothing. Yeah, she was right in there the whole time. Do you like bananas? Well, that's good. Don't leave those things lying around. That's dangerous. Is that his? Yes, it is. Running is the least of anyone's problems right now. Wow, what an introduction to a character with her. And he's chasing after her? Are you sure you want to do that? I agree. Like, I don't know if he's ballsy or stupid. Or curious. Whoa. She's armed to the teeth. It's okay, it's a wartime. How would you do that? What are you doing? Did he heal? Is he a vampire? Is he showing his fangs? Or did he just... Is it that he's healed? So he's already got some supernatural stuff going on with him. He's a literal meme. Oh. 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 That's an info drops. That's sudden. It's moe as hell, man. He was a vampire and turned back into human. And is immortal. He was a moe character. Wow, what are the other side effects? What else is there to him? Huh, interesting. Tsundere, huh? Is that like a... I don't know if that's a Japanesey joke. Is that like a tundra? Like she's cold? But either way, of course, the meta stuff. Yeah, just suddenly drop it just like that. Like, oh yeah, I was turned back into a human from a vampire. Immortality side effects. Whoa! You think you usually start with him being a human, being normal, and then becoming a vampire, but no, we're skipping past all that. I guess so. Gotta be able to fight. Maybe a little bit. Here you go. Do you now? A minute? The great pirate Captain Usopp commands 8,000 men. Alright, he's got younger sisters, and she knows this. She knows who my family is. I can't even imagine the amount of effort that has gone into producing the visuals of this show. Like, so many shows just show the thing that is happening. Just put it on the screen and put it in the middle and show that it is happening. But, like, goddamn, talk about above and beyond. Like, look at this. Look at all that is happening here. Whoa. You're not immortal anymore. You just heal. Did you, that was... Oh my god. Okay. Like, the different art style and just what just happened there, that was insanity. That was so cool. I wasn't prepared. I knew it would be unique, but man. Is he the guy with the goatee that we saw at the beginning? Yes, he is. Which girl has he brought before? Her name? Mistress. And he did. Alright, yeah, Full Metal Alchemist, I know. Just, like, that little, wow, okay. That little detail, just, instead of just showing her poke the eyes, showing it that way, it's just this extra little step of creativity that's just so cool. Hi. Oh, great. Well, she has a name now, at the very least. Oshino Shinobu. You've named her after yourself. What does that mean? Thank you for answering my question honestly. Yeah, he doesn't know what he needs to help you from. There was a crab. Weight crab. Are they? There's Shinobu over there. We're gonna have to meet this crab? That could be a rabbit? It's a pretty big difference. Okay, it's not Shinobu. That's good to know. I wonder what all the implications of her weightlessness are. I mean, she's apparently sickly. I wonder, like, in what way? Wow, okay. Is that so? You say it's not harmful after what it did. Interesting. What did she wish for? I have never seen a scenario in a story where somebody needed to get their weight back. Except, like, the Nutty Professor? If we're talking, like, in that sense, very different thing, obviously. Wow. I don't know what to say. I think I have to go frame by frame on that one to go look at everything and watch it about 7 more times. Look at this ED even. Like, right now, my first initial thoughts are that I'm just fairly blown away by the visuals and the story and characters so far. This has left a very strong impression after one episode. This is a very memorable thing that I can say at the very least. I can't really imagine what it would be like as a novel. And I can't even imagine if some other studio, some other people had worked on it. You know, doing it like this stands out so much. Alright, that's the ED. Do we have anything else? Are those his sisters? Quiz! What? What's the question? Ampersand? I got it right! I win! I won the day! Alright, I won, so I feel pretty good. I assume that I am now a Bakemonogatari expert because I knew what an ampersand was. Let's discuss the episode. Well, that was episode 1 of Bakemonogatari. I knew I was in for something pretty unique. But yeah, immediately, straight out of the gate, they just go out of their way to show you the style of this show. And I said it during the reaction, like, it lets you know the kind of show that it's going to be without actually telling you at all anything that's actually going to happen in the show. Like, it's very vague about plot and everything, but in terms of just what kind of show it will be, stylistically, like, they just hit you with that immediately. With the opening shot going in slow motion, then this timer starts and we get the panty shot, and then you get all these flashes of all this stuff happening, and I'm like, is this the OP? I don't think it is, but then by the end of it, Bakemonogatari came up and I was like, was that the OP? And then it wasn't, because then the actual OP started and there's staplers everywhere, and just the visuals. I love the art. The art style's really good, character designs. And just the direction, the shot composition, the minimalistic backgrounds a lot of the time, the surreal nature of it all. It's great. Like, it's so inventive, different styles of animation, like when you got that one weird thing with the head and then all the stuff, it just shows so much more care. Because you don't generally get stuff like that from adaptations. Generally, it's very simple. There's a thing that was described in the book that it happens, so let's put it on the screen and show on the screen that it happens. And then you just kind of do that, and it's real simple. We don't gotta put a lot of effort into it. Just put it on the screen. Color it, maybe a little bit of movement. Somebody will say a line, and then there you go. But like every shot, practically every shot looks like there was consideration behind it. Not just like, oh, show something, we're transitioning to the next screen, show a cicada on a phone pole. Just, it feels like they had to put a lot of thought and effort into every shot. It makes me think, like, how long did it take to, I don't know, storyboard this? Or whatever, and is it going to be like this throughout the entire Monogatari series, or all of Bakemonogatari? I can't imagine this as a light novel. I can't imagine it without the visuals, and I can't imagine it done by a different studio or different staff, like, as just kind of trying to adapt it straight up. Seeing these visuals, I'm immediately hooked, and I'm like, I want to see more of that. I immediately understand, like, regardless of anything happening with the plot or the characters, I immediately grasp one of the things, at least, that is known to be special about the Monogatari series and why people like it. So yeah, I'm not right now hooked like, oh, I gotta see what happens with the weight crab. I'm just like, I want to literally see more of it. I want to see more of this inventive visual style and just what unique things the show will bring to the table. Because yeah, so far, you know, we just kind of got an interesting setup. This crab thing is not a thing that I've ever heard of. I don't know if it's an actual story, like folklore, that it's based around, or if it's just something made up, but it stole her weight. That's pretty unique. I knew there were vampires in this show and other supernatural kind of elements, but that's something pretty interesting right out the gate. This crab who steals her weight and she's now weightless. I don't know exactly what all the side effects of that entails. You know, she's apparently sickly and not coming to school very often, and you've got somebody like Araragi who's a former vampire, and I love the way that's revealed, because most shows, it would probably start with the main character as a human, and then they become a vampire, and, you know, they start out as the normal guy, and you get the basic audience perspective of just like a normal person in the world. Then they get brought into the supernatural stuff. Or if they are starting out as somebody who was a former vampire, that would probably be shown in some action scene or something at the start, or just shown in some way, or revealed in a big way, even if it's said to us. But it's just casual conversation. Like, if you looked away from the screen for a second, you just missed that bombshell. It's like, I was a former vampire. This guy turned me back, so, you know, I heal fast, and I don't know what other side effects there are to his stuff either, but yeah, it's just stated, yeah, I was a former vampire. Kind of like that was a story that already happened, and now we're just talking about it. It's cool. So we've got those two, Hanekawa, the class prez, a literal meme, Oshino meme. I know it's not pronounced that way, but it's funnier that way. And Oshino Shinobu, one of the few characters. Well, I don't know anything about her, but I've seen a lot of artwork of her representing the Monogatari series as a child and as the older form, which we see flashes of in that thing at the beginning. And, you know, you see stuff like that, where, like I said, the flashes of stuff that I wasn't sure whether or not it was the opening. And there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, and you don't know what any of it is. I don't expect a lot of that kind of stuff to be the focus. I don't expect, like, intense vampire action. Maybe we'll get that kind of thing at some point, but I really expect it to be kind of more like what we saw here, where he's just like, yeah, I used to be a vampire. You know, maybe this stuff will be referenced and talked about, but from the little experience I've had with Nisio Isin's work in Katanagatari, and from what I've heard about this show, I can see it going that way. I mean, just watch episode 4 of Katanagatari, and you'll just see a master troll at work. So I can see that kind of thing happening, where they'll, like, go to fight the weight crab, and then it just cuts to it being done, and then they just talk about it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, like all the flashes of text that come on the screen all the time. Obviously, I cannot read all of that as it's happening. There's just a lot of it, but it just adds to the style of it all, and the pacing. I was never bored. I thought it went by really quickly. Like, by the time it was over, I was surprised it had gone by so fast with such little having actually happened. They just put it together so well that it went by really fast. I mean, I could stop and talk about, like, practically every single shot. There's so many of them, and why it's cool. I don't know if I have the time for that. I don't know if I'm smart enough for that. But it really is just, like, constant visual, interesting stuff happening on the screen. Like I said, starting off with the panty shot shows you right away. Again, they let you know right away this kind of stuff is going to be in the show. So I'm interested to see how it uses fan service going forward. It's cool that, like, there's a lot of shots of very close-ups and shots of eyes from what I remember, and just showing something like that at the beginning, like that is from Araragi's point of view, that he was looking at the panties. They didn't just show it to us just out of nowhere. Again, all the crazy flashes of all the vampire stuff, which, I guess is kind of the backstory for Araragi's vampirism. We just see it in these flashes, and maybe one of the other Monogatari series that's a prequel shows some of that stuff in full, like Senjogahara falling and him catching her and everything. It's a great start to the whole thing, to the plot, to those two interacting, because it's the typical cliche thing that you think of, like the beautiful girl literally falls into his arms, but it's done very differently. She's this weightless girl slipped on a banana peel, and then their first real interaction when all of a sudden she puts a knife in his mouth, staples his mouth, and just threatens him so massively, and I was like, oh my god, this is insanity. Where is this coming from? What's happening? And then that he has the balls to follow her and confront her and reveal his ex-vampirism. Great stuff. I love some of the shots in the classroom with Hanekawa, as he often had the pencil kind of in front of his face, and we were seeing it from his point of view, and it was sort of blocking her. Some of the shots, like between all the chairs that were stacked up, or the chairs that were knocked over. It's too much to talk about. There's all these street signs, the building, and there's a big-ass tree, and like there's so many good-looking things in this episode. There's the meta aspect of her calling herself a tsundere, and him calling her a sundra. I didn't know what a sundra was. I looked that up. I was like, is that a Japanese pun that I don't know? Is that an English pun that I don't know? What's happening? It's a tsundere without the dere, pretty much. We're talking about how the meme is moe, or would have been a moe character when he was younger, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm expecting plenty more of that kind of thing, being very self-aware about the kind of things that are in the story, because I've also been reading the Katanagatari novels, and in the show, once again, episode 4, there's a character who's pretty clearly getting some death flags, and you're like, wow, yeah, this guy's probably gonna bite it. And then I was reading the novel, and Nisi Oisin literally just writes, well, this guy just signed his death warrant, and then, like, he continues to do so further, and he just writes it again, like, yep, he's definitely a goner. So, very self-aware, meta kind of stuff. And within the actual plot and characters, I definitely want to see more of them, too. See how these relationships develop, see what happens with all of them, see how we handle this whole crab thing. It was pretty tense between Oshino Mime and Senjogahara at the end there, talking about how this thing doesn't come and doesn't take away your weight unless there's something that you're wishing for, and how she can only save herself. So we'll see where that whole thing goes. And then you got Shinobu, who's just kind of hanging out in the corner. I'm expecting a lot of wordplay, a lot of which will probably have to be explained to me, which feel free to go ahead and do that for all the Japanese double meanings that are in there, like they talked about in the scene with Hanekawa, where they were discussing Senjogahara's name, and Hanekawa herself, I don't know what kind of role she'll have going forward. There were those flashes during that scene of, like, a white-haired girl in some underwear, and I don't know what was going on with that exactly, but like I said, I did enjoy that scene, and, just her interactions with Araragi that she's had so far, and talking about how, it's weird that you're paying attention to someone else. Seems like he doesn't often give people his full attention. As I brought up before, the shot with the pencil kind of blocking Hanekawa's face, maybe showing that he's not fully attentive to what they're doing at the time. I mentioned a lot of minimalist type background stuff because there's not a lot happening around them. There's not background characters ever, I don't think. And I like that. I like that choice. Again, it just adds to the atmosphere. It makes everything look really nice. You've got all these great shots, these great backgrounds. Don't muck it up by having, like, random, nameless goobers walking around. Just put the great environments there and put the important characters in them, and there we go. We just focus on what is important. We've got our characters there. Nothing unnecessary around them. And it also states at the beginning, this is Hitagi Crab, so I know that there are multiple different arcs in the series, I guess, focusing on different girls, and this is Senjogahara's, and definitely want to see more about her, where this whole thing goes. Like I said, she said people would refer to me as a tsundere, but I can easily see using this kind of meta self-awareness to subvert some of those tropes, not just making her a typical tsundere and just stating that you did that. I can see there being a lot more to these characters than some of their just archetypes would make you think there are. we'll see where it all goes. I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty excited just from episode 1. It was very memorable. At the very least, like, even if you don't take much away from it in terms of plot, it's gonna stick with you at least a little bit. And Senjo Gahara is fun so far. Normally, it would be up to execution how I feel about a character like her who just immediately comes up to you and puts a knife in your mouth and staples you. It's like, wow, you're literally insane. But she's really fun because it was just so over the top and absurd and like, what the hell is happening? And that she's got all these school supplies on her. Just insanity that she will wield as weapons, and she has 5,000 troops, and if I go a minute without contacting them, and apparently she's got some intelligence gathering going on, if she knows Araragi has sisters, and just some of the lines like the Full Metal Alchemist reference that he made, and then she picked up on it and ran with it, and I'll let you know that my body is not worth the jail time. It's like, okay, Jesus. There's a lot of fun stuff going on with her. So, yeah, and one of the lines that I was pretty interested in at the end is when Oshino was talking about how it was all just a change of her point of view. He was like, this isn't just something that happened to you in some circumstance. So your point of view just changed. So I want to see what the show does with that, how it expands upon that, how, like, this is not some victim. I mean, I don't know what all the side effects of this are for her, but he's like, you're acting all victimized, but really it's just that you now have a different point of view. So I want to see how the show addresses that going forward, these different points of views that the characters get from all of these different circumstances that they are put in. Your weight taken by a crab, vampires, former vampires, whatever else there is happening. But yeah, I feel like there's a ton I can say, but gotta call it there, I guess, and we can talk about it more in the comments, on Discord, wherever. Subscribe if you want to see more of this. Check out the Patreon if you want to support what I'm doing and help me to keep doing it and get these videos early. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.